living like the winter do.
See me with the crew, had to get some food. I see you looking like you do. Had to make a move. Still I gotta grow in a Jimmy Choo. Break the rules, no you're not a fool, but I'm in the mood.
What's up, y'all? It's Nate Almighty, aka the Global Dark Skin Ambassador, with another story time for y'all, man. I want to talk about the 2 times in my life I know of that I was called the N-word. And I'm going to say this word one time and hope that YouTube will not block this video from being monetized. And it's Nick. No, I'm not going to do it. But you know what I mean. These were 2 very, very weird times where I could have went off the deep end, right? But I thought about it and I realized that I am a black man. And although I was called these words, it would be very stereotypical of me to attack this white man, because it was a white man, 2 very different white men, opposite spectrums of white men. We're gonna get into that, but it made no sense to attack these white men who are only talking. You know what I'm saying? Only talking, and I chose not to attack either of these men because in this one situation, I really felt like he was on a suicide mission, and then in another situation, I felt like the whole white privilege thing was gonna get the best of me. And at the same time, a man must understand that you must not be thrown off and emotionally moved by the words that someone says. You know, if you allow somebody's words to have control over your actions, then that means that they have power over you. And I strive as a man to have total control of oneself and to be able to think 5 steps ahead of the competition. So without further ado, let's get to it, man. So this first situation, I was in the hood. Now, I'm from a place called the Brown Building, okay? This is in the Morris Avenue, Park Avenue, Cortland Avenue side of the Bronx, okay? Now, Brown Building, green doors and windows on 161st Street, right? Building 280-300, right? So look, if you leave the building and you make a left, when you walk in a couple, and not a long way, I'm talking about like a block or 2 up from my building that I grew up in, right? On the left side, you have the movie theater, the food court. You have a couple clothing stores and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And on the right side, you would have the Supreme Courthouse, big glass building, right? Ironically, all the crime going on in this area in the courthouse is right there. But moving on, this is a night, okay? Me and my boys, and I'm gonna say it's at least 3, 4 of my friends, including myself. Now, facially, I can remember Zelly was there. I can remember Debonair was there. Maybe Rich Green was there. And I think Delage was there, right? So look, they're oblivious to this whole situation. But there's a store called Checkers, right? That's, like I said, it's a block up from my building. We in Checkers, it's nighttime, right? We real cool with like a couple of the girls that work in the Checkers, you know what I'm saying? For obvious reasons that I don't gotta get into detail, but we cool with them, you know, we order food and we getting extra food on the side and stuff like that. And then my friends, they move all the way to the left and now they sitting down waiting for their food and stuff like that, right? So now a short white man walks in, right? With glasses, right? So while I'm completing my order, this white man walks in. Mind you, it's nighttime. I believe it had just stopped raining, right? This white man walks in. He has a long black coat on with his hood on. And I remember he has glasses. He looks like an old version of Harry Potter. He had to have been 40s, maybe 50s, 45-ish, something like that. And literally, I will never forget, while I'm ordering my food, the person who's taking my order, they walk to the back for whatever reason, maybe to talk to another talk to another co-worker or something like that. And I hear the white man say, literally heard him say, back in my day, I used to burn niggers like you. And I kept my composure, but I was shocked because this is my first time ever being called that word. So I look like this and realize that the person who I'm looking at is not even my height. And I look down and the white man's looking me right in my face. But he goes like this, real quick. But I see he has a pen in his hand, right? And I'm fucked up because I recently, before that, I was at somebody's house and their father had what I never knew existed, was a pen gun, right? And this is a gun or a pen that's turned into a gun, and you press the button that would have made the ink tip come out, and instead a bullet comes out, right? So immediately when I see him with the pen in his hand, I'm thinking, okay, he either has a pen gun or he just said some wild shit because he's ready to go on a suicide mission. Or he trying to tempt me and my boys to literally smoke him right now, and then we'll be on the Bronx 12 News for a hate crime in the morning. I'm thinking about all these different possibilities, and I'm like, I don't see how this will end well for me and my people. Because if he has a pen gun, mind you, literally, a pen he was holding tight like this, but it was like quick and low. Mind you, my friend's not even paying attention. They on their phones, they joking around, right? You know what I'm saying? They talking shit. This is happening in what feels like slow motion, but this is all happening within literally like 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds. I look him right in his face. I'm like, you serious? And I stepped out his way, right? And then he orders his food. He looks back at me. I don't say nothing. And I choose not to say nothing to my friends who are all quicker to get violent than I am, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes with my friends, I find myself either being the first person to jump out the way, or if not, I'm the voice of reason amongst all people. And I chose to shut up, and I didn't say nothing. I never told my friend. We went back to the block, enjoyed our night. That was it. Boom, that's the first time. Now the second time, I was doing deliveries for Amazon.com, right? So I had the big ass bag, and I'm doing deliveries on the train all over the place. The particular area where they had me doing deliveries at the most was in the Washington Heights, Fort Washington area, and all them areas close to the Heights along the AC train line or the 1 line, because I lived on Dykeman at the time. Now, what I used to do is, if I didn't understand the maps too much, I never hesitated to ask people around what the directions was to certain places, you know what I'm saying? And most of the time, people would just help. If they couldn't help, they say, I don't know. But every once in a while, you know what I'm saying, a non-black person, right, would kind of look at me in disgust. Like, give me a look, like, look me right in my face, don't say nothing. Don't even have the respect to say, the decency to say, I can't help you. They just look at me in disgust. And on this particular day, I was on a time limit to get delivery done, and this particular white man, right, presumably gay, because of his mannerisms and the way he spoke to me, right, And the fact that he was a little fat white man with a little chihuahua, and I never seen a straight white man with a little chihuahua before. And he had a red beard, but not like he's a redhead, like he dyed his beard red, right? So I remember I'm looking for a specific address, and I'm like, hey, white man. I didn't say white man, but I'm like, hey, can you tell me the direction to such and such and such and such? But it was like one of those situations where I was going this direction and he was going the opposite direction, but we were crossing paths. And it's not like I got right up on him and said it. I said it as we were approaching, and I said it with humility and a humblenicity, which is an invented word, by the way. But, that's the vibe that I had it at. And when I asked him, he looked at me up and down. He said, and kept walking. So I stopped, and I'm looking at him while he walking. I'm like, you're really an asshole, right? And then as I attempt to turn around, he immediately stops and he goes, what you say to me, nigger? What you say to me, nigger? I went red in my mind. It was one of those rare situations where I don't think. And immediately, I started moving quickly towards this white man. And I said, what you said? So you ready to get knocked out then? And I'm walking towards him. He goes in his pocket, pulls out mace, starts spraying the mace, right? It didn't get all the way on me, but it got like within my lungs. So I start coughing and shit. I'm coughing. He tries to like almost like he about to chase me down with the mace. And I'm like, okay, so he gonna chase me down with the mace, and then what? Like, is he gonna try to call the police, something like that? I'm like, damn, this the middle of Manhattan. I got work to do. The last thing I need to be doing is trying to fight a racist white man with a red beard in the middle of white part of Dykeman. You know what I'm saying? So I bought some milk out the store, which is something that I learned from Rikers Island. I put the milk in my face, and my senses, not as fast enough as I wanted them to, but they started coming back to me naturally. And I went and delivered the package, still on time, and I went about my business. And I never told nobody about it. It's kind of embarrassing, but also it's better than what I was gonna do, because had he not maced me, I would have literally stomped a mud hole in him. Like, it'd have been bad, and I would have been on Bronx 12 or Dykeman 12 the next day for a hate crime, even though him calling me nigger is a hate crime, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna end the story there. Those are the 2 times that I was called the N-word and they dropped the N-bomb on me. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Get yourself a coffee hat. Peace.